Hey friends, so I got a call yesterday from CIS Flow Tech in, I think it's Alabama or Tennessee, can't remember the state. They received my package with all of the components for the 79928 and the extra stuff I sent them from an 81 car and the extra stuff from Allison's dad's Porsche 928 that is the European version. Sent all that to them, and I said, folks, I just need one perfectly working 79 CIS system. And in the box was the fuel head, the fuel distributor, the warm-up valve, warm-up regulator, the bunch of other little sensors and components that make up that system. So I sent it off. They received it, and the woman that's one of the techs there, she called me, and we talked for a while. And I said, I did take apart the butterfly valve system there to clean it, but then I couldn't get one of the pins back in, and then that's when I stopped. I sent her all of the disassembled parts of the butterfly system and another complete box assembly, same thing, but off of the 81 car. Sent that all to her so she could, I said, look, the bottom line is just make one good one serviceable one. All the other stuff you guys can keep as cores because they need fuel heads, they need things like that. And she said, yeah, that's fine. And I said, the one thing I didn't do was the fuel distributor head. I said, this car was burning ethanol-based gasoline. That fuel distributor head, I know, probably has rubber components in it, so I didn't even want to touch it. And she said, oh, thank you so much. Thank you for not digging into that thing, taking it apart, because there's so many people that do that, and they end up screwing it up. They end up destroying it or through inadvertently wrecking it and making it worse. And I said, yeah, I figured that would be the case, and I did not want to be that guy. Now, there's a lot of those guys on YouTube that do this kind of stuff. They do everything like they're an expert. I'm just going to dive in and do this. I'm going to dive in and do this and get this fixed, get this, I'm going to do this work, but they may not have the experience on it. Now, this one guy that I'm going to show here now, he does a lot of interesting work on his Porsche 928. But one of the areas that he did that I took umbrage with was he sent some aluminum control arms out to get sandblasted in England. He's an English guy. He seems like a nice guy, so I'm not saying anything disparagingly about him. But, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane and do it well. He sent those lower control arms. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous pieces. He sent them out, got sandblasted, and he brought them back and he showed them. Oh, they're nice and clean, but they were just chewed up. I mean, they looked like 36 grit sandpaper. It was really, really bad. And I made a comment about it. I said, dude, this is what I do. This is my lane. Why would you send this out to get destroyed like that? And he didn't know. So he had no standard to go on. He didn't have any, he wasn't justified at all. He didn't have any right justification or left justification. He was clearly out of his lane, but he was just diving in, quote, fixing things, but basically destroying them at the same time. So that applies to the fuel distributor. So that's why I said full stop on that. And now I'm just going to show you just a minute or two of this gentleman. Seems like a nice guy. So I'm not, it's just purely professional observations. And just listen to what he says. It's very interesting.
Welcome back into episode 23. So in this video and probably the next video, I'm going to handle the disassembly of the fuel distributor, the refurbishing, replacing all the O-rings and the diaphragm, and then the reassembling. And I'll probably go on to maybe a third or fourth video actually mocking up the entire fueling system on the bench. So I've got the fuel distributor, the pump. I'll probably put a filter in just to protect the injectors and things. The fuel lines and the injectors squirting into little pots with the map and everything, so we can actually check that it all works. The last thing I want to do is get it all back in the engine bay and then find out that I've got something wrong, or there's, you know, whatever, who knows what could go wrong. So that should be quite interesting as well.
Sealant or whatever's holding that together just to separate. I'm actually going to pop it in the oven. I think it's the easier way. I've seen some people use air gun.
So, you know, why take that apart? If you've never done it before, if you don't intend to do it again, and you do not intend to be an expert at it, why dive into it? Hire somebody that's better than yourself to fix that, to repair that, to service that. Someone with experience. You know, diving in like this guy's doing it. And granted, I've been guilty of doing these type of things myself in the past, but I guess with age and wisdom, you just realize, okay, I'm not going to do that because I've never done that. So why do it?
Things like that. I don't have an air gun, so that isn't going to be an option here. Right, I've warmed it up to about 70 degrees in the oven. I've replaced 2 of the screws there.
Anyways, I think you all can get the point of that.
I don't want it to suddenly sort of break open and go. Working round 1 to 8. And then I have my...
So, you know, why even do this
again,
as a... you know, why even do this as a video like you're teaching somebody when you don't even know what you're doing in the first place? So YouTube's filled with those kind of people, these kind of people. Granted, I've done this myself,
here we now have
but
the,
why take it apart? Look at that. I mean, that mechanism looks pretty interesting. I'd take it apart just to learn about it, but man, take it apart to fix it.
It's a very thin piece of metal. We'll put that to one side. And there's each of the chambers.
So there's probably rubber components in there.
You can see there's quite a lot of sort of build up on some of these.
Yeah. But anyways, I think y'all get the point. Send it off to the pros. Get them to do it. Okay? See ya.